Here we go. We're recording. So we are going to be hitting moves to help you understand why it's so important to get your glutes and your hamstrings firing, even to walk, because that's what creates muscle pain is imbalances and doing moves without really using those big muscles. So, and then we're going to do some moves that are conducive to fibromyalgia. Okay. And a lot of these moves anybody could do. I won't take the time this morning, but you could do it lying in bed. We'll do it standing and setting, or lying in bed, or on the floor. But I won't go on the floor today. Okay. That said, I don't know if you can see my dog. Oh, come here, Mac. Get up here. He needs to do these exercises. He's a senior citizen. Come on. Anyway, get a pole. A pole always helps, okay? When you get your pole, I want you to just take it just like this. Just like this. Step out. Go down right to here. Make sure your wrists are neutral. Come up and come up, okay? So instead of just walking forward and back to get warmed up this morning, and I know this is weight training and we're going to do some loading, but the very people who need to load many times do not because they're too sore or it's too painful. So one of the biggest things that you can do to help yourself is to warm up gradually. So when you put something in your hands like this and you keep your wrist neutral, that's helping you to use a whole bunch of shoulder and hip movers, okay? So instead of stepping front to back, right now we're gonna go out. We're gonna do a tiny hip hinge, and we're gonna rotate this bar right here to above the knee. Then you come right back up, okay? So we're gonna go 1, 2, and 3, 4. And as we do that, we're gonna keep our tummy tight. We're going to keep our shoulders down, breathing in through the nose, out through the nose and or mouth. Okay, so we're just going to do a couple of these, just like this. And then I'm going to take my bar and I'm going to, this is a pre-test. So we're going to do some tests, and I hope you will really follow this, because this is one of the things that I see all the time in classes. So here's a pre-test. I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to take your bar. I'm going to push the hips back, and I'm going to come down and just put my bar on the floor and then come up. Okay. So I'm doing a simple fold just to release and then to pick up my load. Okay. Now, if you did that, you did it in a certain way. You did it either pushing your knees forward or back like they're supposed to be. So now here's the first test. I told Chrissy I would do a test to help you understand if you are getting the hip back going or not. This is also a test to help you see if your movement patterns will get your glutes activated and your hamstrings. So you see what I've done? Here's my chair. I think you can see it. I'm going to move it over here so you can really see it. I don't know if that's in the way. And I'm going to bring my toes right underneath my chair. See that? And my knees are actually touching the front part of the chair. Okay? Now I want you to do what we just did. This right here. I'm going to push my butt back, and as I push back and come down like this, if I'm pushing the chair out like this, that is not a glute activating move, okay? But if my chair stays pretty intact, as I hip hinge, shoulders down, pushing the hips back, I can come way down here just like I was going to put this on the floor. and then come back up and come back up and come back up. And I don't move the chair with my knees. So again, if I go down into a hip hinge and I'm doing this and my knees are pushing the chair like this, then that is not a gluteal activating move. But if I push my butt back and I don't move the chair out with my knees, that by virtue is firing and getting your gluteals going. So I hope that helps you. It's a very simple thing. And see, in my class, anytime somebody goes down or forward like this, see, I'm always saying, what am I always saying? Shine your taillights, shine your taillights. So if you shine your taillights, that means you got to be pushing them back pretty hard. And as you go down and you pick up and you put down a simple anything, it could be a tea towel, it could be a bar. By virtue of putting that down and doing the hip hinge properly, which means, let me state it one more time. See, as I'm coming down, my knees are not going out over my toes. All right, that means I'm by virtue of that, I'm using my gluteals. I go into my heels. If you just do that, down, you can do it with, again, a tea towel, something that you're gonna pick up right in front of your toes. And if you do this 10 times, okay, or more, you will be warmed because I'm reaching, I am not pushing my knees out over my toes because I'm doing what? I'm pushing my butt back. I'm putting something down, I'm picking something up. That's all I'm doing. But I'm not pushing my knees out over my toes. And I can test you by putting you right here in front of a chair. And you go into that kind of a position, into the heels, and you don't move the chair. Okay, that's test one. Then this one, a lot of times somebody has to kind of work with you, but you can do a lot of it yourself. One hand is on the chair back, okay? Because I'm gonna bring this toe back here like this, and I'm gonna lift, see? Pretend I'm laying down on a bed. So anybody that has significant hip or pain issues, back issues, I would put you on the bed because you'd be laying flat down. But you can do this standing like we're doing it, okay? I'm trying to see if you are firing your gluteal hamstring or not. So you're shifting, you're putting your hand here to hold your balance. You put your toe back. Okay, now right now, you're gonna lift the heel. Okay, now I didn't prep you. I didn't say tighten your gluteals. No. I didn't say that, did I? Because I want you to just lift, and I want you to lift straight-legged, and then you put your hand right here on your hamstring, your fingers here, and as you lift, feel, if you feel contraction, it should be a muscle, okay? In your gluteal, your hip, your hamstring, or both, okay? Now you can get both by priming them. What do? Right now I'm priming them. I'm saying tighten my gluteal, squeeze it, lift it, see? And I'm just gonna do a few because I'm gonna go to the other side. But if I put my hand, if you were doing this, lying down or standing, and I just put my hand right here, I could feel whether or not you were firing your hamstrings first and then your gluteals or not at all, okay? That's the point. And a lot of people don't ever think about it. And then they go do all kinds of housework and walking and they don't get their gluteals. They're sleeping. Okay, so now I'm gonna go to the other side. I'm going to put one leg back. See that? My knee is soft here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get you to fire them, okay? If you want to test, you can. But if you don't squeeze that gluteal, generally, you just throw that leg up. And you don't get those big old muscles working with you. Okie dokie. Drop your shoulders, tight, tight, tight. And don't move your upper body when you do this lift, okay? Contract your gluteal and then keep your legs straight. Your heel is lifting or leading. You keep your shoulders down and you should feel these muscles, okay? This is a great move to help move your hamstrings into a much better fitness zone, okay? And some of you might say, well, you know, of course my gluteals and my hamstrings work, you know? I couldn't walk around if I didn't. Not quite true, because a lot of people just kind of throw their legs around and they don't really engage, okay? So let's go back. So this is a great warm-up, number one, for anybody that needs to try to help their pain quotient, okay? So we're gonna stand right here. We're shoulder width. Don't go real narrow. That's the first mistake that a lot of people make when they do this. Don't go narrow. You're at least shoulder width or more apart. And just keep walking forward until you're standing straight and your knees are touching the front of the chair, okay? Drop your shoulders, hip hinge, and do not move the chair with your knees as you're coming down, all the way down here. Breath, and then come back. Yes, do it 2 more times. Push, you're pushing into the heels, you're keeping your chin tucked, and then you're coming right back up. Breath, here we go. Shine those taillights. Push, push into the heels, push into the heels, push into the heels, push into the heels, and come back up. And notice, are you pushing on your chair with your knees? If you are, I told you, I'm recapping. If you are, then you are not really firing the gluteals. You're using more of other muscles to push, and especially the front muscles, and I don't want that. I want to go back through here. Okay, now use both hands right here, and we're gonna go lift, bring it back. We're gonna go tap, tighten up, shoulders down, check your front leg that's holding. We're doing alternate now, okay? And here's what I'm trying to get you to avoid. If you already have a wonky back, a wonky hip, you're tight in certain muscles and loose in other ones. Use this chair to press down so you don't over lean when you do this alternating hamstring, gluteal, back extensor move. This is squeezing right there. And so some of you might say, well, how do I get that to squeeze? And I would say, well, what if I just came at you with a shot right here in your butt? My guess is you would tighten that sucker, right? Shoulders down. It's right here. Tighten, lift. So what I'm taking you through right now, with really being careful to line up, with really getting your hamstring gluteals fired, this is going to be a big deal for you, okay? And a lot of us just start doing stuff and we don't ever think about getting our gluteals on board. And why is that such a big deal? Because we sit on our gluteals a lot, okay? So if I were gonna do something like as a brain break for kids, for office workers, anything like that. Or let's say you're sitting on a long plane ride, which many of us are going to be doing, or a car ride. Don't be complaining about how many I'm doing here. Okay, this is part of this program today, and I'm doing every single stinking one with you. Keep your shoulders down. And Kathy wants to scream at me that we've done 100, but I know we haven't done quite 100 yet. Lift, come back, drop your shoulders right here, boom, and back. See how I'm going just a little bit more quick, okay? If you need to do it slower, but you're pressing down, shoulders and hands, you're tightening it on the tummy, you're saying rib cage up, you're softening your knee, straight leg, and then pretend I'm coming at you with a big old shot right in your butt. And you will tighten, okay? Big breath, just do 3 more, and we're there, okay? Breath, keep nice and tight. Don't throw the leg up. Squeeze with your gluteal. Squeeze with your hamstring. Get that nice lift from the muscles lifting, not from you throwing your leg up there or over leaning. So anybody that has joints replaced, this right here is such a foundational move for all of us who have that. Okay, now I'm going to take my little bar, turn right around here. I have my pad on my chair. You notice, or you should notice, okay? My pad is on my chair. Now I'm going to show you the other extremely important thing for people that have fibromyalgia, that have many different conditions, but especially those painful joints and so forth. So see what I'm doing? I'm sitting on my pad and leaning back. You could do this laying in bed. As a matter of fact, if you're not doing this, see how I'm doing 1 at a time? Well, you could do 2 at a time if you were just laying there. As a matter of fact, I'll just release back and I'll just go toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, breath, breath, and I'm doing toe, heel, and you can do 1 at a time if that suits you better, or you can do both together. I'm letting you lean your shoulders on the back of the chair, but the toe heel thing, seriously, you need to do at least 20, if not 50 of these before you step your little foot out of bed, okay? It will make a difference, a huge difference. Then, as you're getting ready to get out of bed, let's pretend, see, I'm in bed. See that? Okay. If you're not in bed and you want to do this in a chair, and there's many forms of opening a tight hip flexor. And we've done this many times. This is very doable by somebody with knee and or hip replacements, okay? You get very tight through here. So if you're laying in bed and you did your ankle point flex, and then you just drop one leg off on the outside of the bed and just let gravity just pull it down. Okay, see how I'm just letting gravity pull it down? I'm not doing any effort. And you open right here. So yeah, we're going at this a little bit different. Why? Because people that have fibromyalgia type problems, joint problems, it's very painful to even move in certain ways, and you can't even hardly think about doing appreciable strength work, okay? And see how I'm just adjusting? I'm sitting to the front. We've done this many times. Lean back, keep your chin tucked, and point the knee down on the outside leg. See that? It helps to open the front of that hip and all the musculature around it, which encompasses into the lower back. And you just hang out there for a bit. Then once you've done that, you just do like you're leading the choir, a sit to stand. So if I'm going to do a sit to stand, and I'm not going to undo everything I just did, I'm going to make sure that I'm out here far enough with my feet. And when I lean in, I'm going to put pressure where? On the heels. Yes. So there I go, heels, sit to stand, take a big deep breath. Here we go, release right here, release the butt now. Okay, now I'm having to release it actively. And I'm gonna put my hands here and I'm gonna push. I'm gonna push with my shoulders down. And I'm gonna push into a hyperextension. I'm pushing my hips forward, okay? So between the point flex, the firing of the hamstring gluteal, opening the hip, doing just those very basic moves, wow, can that make a difference, okay? Big breath, yes. Now I'm gonna bring my little pad, put it right there in front of my chair. Gonna go over here and grab my weights. Yes, we are gonna do weights today. So I'm pretty warmed up. I've done a lot of joint action and stuff. So I'm gonna pick up a little beyond light. So for me, I'm picking a 9 and a 9, okay? Just to start with. Okie dokie. So I have a 9 and a 9. All right. I'm going to put one foot right there in the middle. Let me warn you, if you have weights in both hands and you step your foot on a very spongy surface, meaning it's non-compromising, it's spongy, okay? It would, it's moving. It will throw you. The minute that I take my other foot that's in a kickstand back here, up off the ground, it's gonna make me work super hard. So I have these weights right here. My shoulders are down. My knee is soft. I'm gonna tighten my stomach. I'm gonna lift that toe in the back. I'm just gonna try to hang out here for 1,001, 1,002, 1,003. I'm gonna try to go to 1,006. I'm gonna try that again, 3 times on one side, 3 times on the other. Are you ready? So here I am. Make sure you're close to a wall, a chair, or something. If this is throwing you too much, do not do this with your foot on the chair, okay? Do not do it with your foot on the chair. Okay, keep your knees soft. Here we go. We're gonna come up. And we're gonna go 1,001, 1,002, 1,003, 1,004, 1,005, 1,006, and then come back down. Take a breath. How many did I say we're gonna do? 3. Let me call my dog just a second. Ruby, come up. Ruby. She's trying to bury a bone in my basement. Okay, are you ready? Keep your knees soft. Shoulders down. This last one on this side. Okay, knee is soft. Kickstands down. Say rib cage up. Bring it up. Straight up. 1,001, 1,002, 1,003, 1,004, 1,005, 1,006, and come down. Okay, if you did that for 6 seconds and you were fully engaging because you didn't lock your knee, you should have felt some powerful contractions in your hip, okay? In your hip. Excuse me. Okay, let's go to the other one. Are you ready? Big breath, drop your shoulders. Okay, I'm gonna step that leg up. I got my kickstand. See the kickstand? Okay, that's number one. Bend my knee. Number two, it's soft. Rib cage up, shoulders down. And I'm gonna bring my leg off the ground. It's gonna be very difficult for me on this 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006. And I feel myself leaning too much. Okay, so what am I gonna do to correct that? I can do two things. I can do it with my hand on a chair back or on a wall with one weight so that I don't overlean, or I can bend my knee a little bit more that I'm standing on, the one on the pillow, okay? Why? I've lowered my center of gravity. See, I want to lower my center of gravity instead of locking. If I lock, I'm going to lean. And that is exactly what I don't want to do. Okay, you ready? So use one of those two things. I'm going to try this one first. If I think I'm not overleaning, then I'll stay with it. Okay, lower your center of gravity. You're going to bring that leg up. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006. Okay, now I'm going to try it with my hand on the back of the chair. Okay, are you ready? Bent knee, shoulders down. You ready? Here we go. 1001. I feel much more balanced on this one. 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006, and step down. Okay. So whatever your challenge side is, doing a move like that, this is all part of you figuring it out and then doing moves that are going to be conducive to staying in balance. Okay. And when you overlean on a move, that is going to whack up your back really bad. Okay. Are you ready? So do you remember what I did starting out here with one of the tests with your knees in front of the chair? Yeah. Well, I'm going to go down. I'm going to grab my weights. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to hip hinge. I'm going to put these weights down right in front of my feet. Okay. I am not going to let my knees go out in front of my toes. They're going to stay back. I'm going to come all the way down, place them, drop my butt just a little more. Okay, not my head, not my shoulders, my butt into the heels. Hold it down there. Bring it right here. Stay into the heels. Bring up with the shoulders. So you're pulling the shoulders into the back. Keep your shoulders down and into the back. Stay into the heels. Stay into the heels. Do not lean into your toes. Breath, breath, breath. Heels, heels, heels. Woo! Breath. One more. And down and up. I know, that was a screamer, right? That's good. You got to have a few screamers. Okay. Grab your weights. Over here. Put them right in your rack. And if you can, dial up. If you're a person with fibromyalgia, don't even worry about going up. You just hang on to some light weights and or your own body weight, which would be fine. However, so on the get-go, that means at the beginning, on the get-go is we're getting ready to go. What we did at the beginning was we did these things, right? We squeezed the gluteal and lifted the leg. And we've done those before. However, we're really thinking about how we're doing this move, right? So now I've got heavier weights. That's number one. Number two, I'm not standing on my pillow. I'm going to bring these right here. I'm going to keep my shoulders down, because the minute that I hip hinge and I bring my hands right here, I've got to keep my shoulders down and back and then come back up. Do you see how that move is? This is a very small move, but it has big implications, especially if you do it incorrectly, okay? So number one, your tummy's tight. Number two, you're breathing. Maybe that should be number one. Breathe in through the nose if possible. You're going to hip hinge. It's going to bring your shoulders forward, but you got to fight that. So I told you I was going to be doing some stuff for fibromyalgia. A lot of fibromyalgia pain can happen just like osteoporosis up into the shoulders, okay? So if you do this with a light weight even, that would be good, or no weight, okay? So here I go. Hip hinge, my shoulders come forward, my shoulders are down and back. That means I'm squeezing right in the middle of my shoulder blades to keep these shoulders in a good position, okay? That's number 2 or 3. Then I'm gonna shift, okay? And I'm gonna come shift. See, I'm just shifting back and forth in this position. See, I'm bent at my hip, and then I'm gonna hold it right here. I'm gonna pull back up and squeeze my butt really hard and bring my weights right here, okay? So I have a 12 and a 12. So you have whatever you think that you can handle right now, okay? So you see how I went into the move again? It's not a big move initially, but I am working my back extensors. I am working my shoulder blade muscles that are around the shoulders by just hip hinging, coming forward, and keeping my shoulders down and back, okay? Take a big deep breath, squeeze your butt. Now that we've got that out of the way, I'm gonna put one leg back at a time. So I'm gonna hang on to these weights right here. I'm gonna squeeze my gluteal and just lift. Try not to overlean. The knee is soft. Ah. Breath, right there. Breath, right there. Breath, breath. Breath. 2 more. Heel is lifting, the leading. This one is not one that is bent in the knee and back. You are lifting with your gluteal hamstring. Okay. Whew. Take these weights. I hear you're whining. I'm gonna let you put them down. See, I'm gonna put them right there in front of my toes. Right there in front of my toes. Okay. Turn, 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 turn. So it's just a gentle turn. And do I have my knees locked or are they soft? Everybody should be yelling soft. Yes, keep them soft. This is a nice little break, okay? So I'm ready to go down because I'm gonna do the hip hinge forward and back. So see, here's the deal. This forward and back move that I'm doing with these heavy weights, okay? That is the beginning of what's called a deadlift. Okay, deadlift gets lots of bad press. A, because people do it wrong. And B, they don't break it down. We need to be doing this part, okay? This is training our backs, our shoulders, our core, like you can't believe if you do it right, okay? You don't have to go all the way down and up every time. Okay, now that that's out of the way, are you ready? So if I came to you right now and I poked you right here, would I lose my finger? The point is, I want you to brace, okay? Just brace. Not so that you can't get your breath and that your eyes bulge. Just tighten up your tummy. If you would just tighten your tummy muscles and support your back pretty much through the day, you would have less backaches, okay? Are you ready? Drop your shoulders. Here we go. Hip hinge, grab the weights, and here we go, right here. Now we're gonna act like we're gonna go back into that full deadlift, but we're not. Then we come back up. See the shoulders? Here we go. So it's right here, hip hinge. We just come right to here, and then we go pull. Shoulders down and back. Not a lot back. Just in line. Hip hinge, pull and back. So the other huge plus to this move, done with weights, for anybody that has hamstring issues, and let's say you do have hamstring issues and there's no way you can pull these up from the ground, then you use them from the chair. You grab them from the chair. Then you don't have to go all the way down there with the possibility of overusing your hamstring. Here we go. Pull, squeeze tight, shoulders down and back. Ah. In through the nose, out through the nose or mouth. Here we go. Pull. Woo. Here we go. Push into the heels. Press into the heels. And see, you're not going very far. You're not going very far, but you are really pushing into the heels. Squeezing the butt right there. Okay? Okay, are you ready? Okay, hang on to these weights or not. Shift your weight. You're going to be bringing the other leg back, the one that you didn't do a while ago. And we're going to just bring that whole leg up and squeeze the butt. Squeeze the hamstring. See that? Keep my knees soft. Pull. So it's going to be a pull. I'm pulling and squeezing. Breath. Keep my shoulders down and into my back with the shoulder blades. Breath. And by managing this kind of weight and holding like this, it is really a great move to help get your hamstrings stronger without overdoing. Take a breath, pull, breath, pull, 2 more, breath. So when you lift your heel in the back, always remember your heel lifts, it leads. The toe is down. Okay, bring it back in. So you should have felt that. Okay, I'm going to bring these weights over here. All right. Okay, big deep breath. Hands out to the side. Cross over. Don't lock. Come back. See this? Bent knees. Cross over. Okay. Now, if I had you do this, and I didn't say, but I didn't remind you to not lock your legs, my guess is most of you would have locked them over, leaned, and done that. That's not what we want to do, is it? We want to do a hip hinge, soften our knees, bring our leg from here to here with our hands out, okay? Then come back, all right? Keep your shoulders down, soft knees, step over, then come back. Now, if you can only make it in line with your other leg, fine. But if you can really step over there and keep your knees soft with these hands way out here, this is a big deal for shoulders. And this is generally very doable for people with shoulder issues if it's causing a problem in your joint. Just bring them down like this. but don't bend them necessarily. Just bring them down. Soften your knees, step way over. Yeah, get ready. Bring the knee up and back. Keep your shoulders down here or up here. Okay, it's your call. In through the nose, soft joints. Here we go. Over and come back. All right, one more. Here we go. Breath and back. Shoulders down, up and over. Take a breath and back. Turn your palms up. I know, I didn't let you put them down, did I? Now your thumbs are pointing back. Okay, my knees are still soft. My tummy is super tight. My shoulders are down. I'm doing reverse circles. I'm going to call this the K exercise. Woo! She's probably screaming right now. Take a breath. Just stay with me. I know we've had them up here a bit. All right, we'll just do 4 more. Stay with me. Take a breath. Breath. Through the nose will help you breathe with your diaphragm better. Okay, one more. And bring your arms down. Shake out, shake out, shake out, shake out. Okay? Now, for those of you, again, who have conditions called fibromyalgia, osteoporosis, osteopenia, all of these things has having to do with pain, having to do with muscles, joints, bones. Okay? You got to use them. That is the ticket to help manage it. I didn't say cure you. I said manage it. And why do you want to do this kind of workout? Number 1, you'll have less pain. I didn't say right this moment, but later in the day. Okay, are you ready? Here's your chair. Those of you who have those issues, you avoid push-ups like the plague, don't you? Number 1, if you can do it against the wall, then that would be my choice for you. See, I'm using this as a wall. I would do these every day. Just put them shoulder width, step back, and then bend the elbows down and push back. Okay? See, bend those elbows down and push back. Yeah, don't flare them. Right now, you're against the wall. Your feet are shoulder width, and you're leaning in, all right? Then just drop the elbows a little and then push back. Yeah, get to where you can do that with some force, because that's you getting stronger. Now, anybody out there that can do wall, do wall. But if you can do it, the second phase, which is the chair, we're going to do it on the chair, okay? You can use the pad or not. It's up to you. If you like the squishiness of it, that's fine. And so what do we do? If we're doing it on the chair, do we go way back like this? No, we do not, okay? We're right here. See, I'm on my toes. I'm keeping my knees very bent. Back as far as I feel I can. And then all I'm going to do is bend my elbows and push myself back up. It's very, very doable. See, I'm bending those elbows, pushing back up. I'm on my toes. My butt's pushing back. I am not flaring at the elbows. I'm keeping myself lined up. And I'm dropping the elbows as I bend my knees and then coming back. So this is all that upper body, thoracic, shoulder, deltoid, triceps, forearms, palms, wrist. You're working all those and they'll get tired. So do as many as you feel you can and then take a break. Okay, so I'm gonna hang out down at the bottom here. Ready? So I'm gonna stay down here and I'm just gonna go push, push. I'm on my toes. Push, breath, breath, breath. 2 more. Breath, 1 more, and breath. Step in and open. Woo! Okay, open, open. Turn and turn. Turn. Keep your shoulders down. This is a recovery. It doesn't help for you to put your shoulders up around your ears right now. Keep your shoulders down. Breath. See, I'm going from one foot to the other foot. But what am I not doing? I am not bending at the waist. I'm staying lined up with my shoulder, my hip, my knee. I'm not leaning out, in other words. In through the nose, out through the nose, if possible. Okie dokie. Okay, this is a strength day. We're gonna use our little pillow again. Now, this is basically a square, but it's very close to a square. It is longer on if you turn it one side to the other. So you want it the length, the width of it. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and pick up the same weight, or if you feel like you can go up, then God bless you. Do it. So I'm going to put my balls of my feet on the outside, the width of this killa. See that? And all I'm going to do is hold these weights right here with my shoulders down, and I'm going to come up and down. So I'm going to come up and down into the toe box. Okay, and if I can do it with one at a time, if that scares you and you keep losing your balance, then just work it like this with these heavier weights. So what do I have? I have 15 and 15. So you have whatever you can. If you can keep your knees soft and just lift your heels. It's not a lot of movement through your foot. It's a heel lift. You're squeezing your gluteals when you're doing this as well. And that's what today's about. Turning on those gluteal muscles, firing them. Okay, so now I'm heavy here, and all I'm doing is lifting my heels. I'm not even shifting into the toe, because into the toe box is on that spongy surface. Yeah. So just stay with it. And you might say, well, how many do I do? And I'm going to say, well, how many can you do? So go into that toe box. I know it. I understand. You would like to slap me right now, but I'm here, so you can't. Keep your shoulders down into the toe. Just lift the heels. That's all I want you to do is just lift the heels with your knees bent. Breath. Okay, I'm going to do 5 more. Okay. Okay. 3 more. Stay with me. Keep your knees soft. 2 more. 1 more. Step off. Woo! Bring those weights over. Rack them and rack them. Okay, shake out your hands. Just like this. Open. Close. Go from the side to the shoulder. Okay? This is another little movement screening test. When I come here and I come here, what's happening with my lower body, right? So when I go down like a cross chop, I'm pushing my butt back, okay? Then I come up here and I'm only gonna shift to this side. I'm not gonna overshift. Then back down, just a couple times, just like that. Then come to the middle, go up here, and right there. So when you come to the knee, if I were with you right now, and you did this move, I would be checking chin tucked, shoulders down, butt pushing back, very flat back. Okay. Just like that. Tight tummy. Just one more. Breath. And come back. And breath. Was that two? Probably. All right. Now I'm going to show you how to really stretch through the hamstrings because we really focused on firing them and getting them working, right? And we're going to do it from a sit down. So I'm going to come right here. I'm going to go wide. Okay. I'm going to bring my hands right to my knees. I'm going to push back just like that. Then I'm going to bring my hands on down to my calf. I'm going to straighten my legs now. Pull one toe up at a time. Feel the stretch. Then bend the knees. Pull the other toe up. Straighten the leg. Come down here. Breath. It should be a big stretch. And then down. Okay? Now, if you wanted to do this, the hip flexor stretch, you could do that again. You just drop your knee down and open back. Oh my goodness, it opens this all back up. And just remember, a lot of times, a tight hip flexor is because we've set too much, okay? So just remember that. And if you can just, if you're sitting and you can just sit in a chair and lean back like this, sit all the way to the front, lean back, put your knee down. Now, sure, you can get on the floor. You can do this on your bed by dropping your leg down over the side of the bed and just letting it gently stretch. Or you can just do this because this puts your back into a nice hyperextension for your back. And it opens up those tight hip flexors. So this has been about, we got full body work today, but we really worked on getting the hamstrings and the gluteals firing. Yeah, good job. I hope that that's going to help a whole bunch of people try to get on there and get some work done.